Hey y'all, this video is a straight up self-sponsored review of the new makeup brand Jason Wu. It just launched on its own website and also at Target. When it was first previewed a couple months ago, I was intrigued by the packaging and some of the promises of the products, and so I decided to do a self-sponsored review. Then it launched and I've barely heard anything about it. Although shout out to Becca Sun, who I follow on Instagram. She has a beautiful Instagram account. She posted about this brand. She did some reviews on a day when they were having like a special. It was like 50% off everything on the website. And when I saw her post, it reminded me that I was going to review it. And that's the only reason that I'm doing this. So thanks to Becca. So I went to the website. I picked 7 products for review, the 7 that interested me the most. I bought them with my channel budget, but also I should let you know that I did get 50% off on that day. And I probably wouldn't have purchased this many if I hadn't had that coupon. I bought them. I've been testing them thoroughly, and I'm just going to go through them one by one and tell you what I think. This is a really straightforward video. It's just like me reviewing products from this brand. But you know, as always, it's informed by my general philosophy about makeup, which is to not buy stuff that is just repeats of what you already have, not to have too much, make sure you can really love everything you own. I have just like an underlying level of, I feel, skepticism, especially about brand new stuff and big promises that comes from my personal philosophy. So that's going to be underlying this review as well, as it does all of my content. If this is your first time to my channel, I'm Hannah and I love beautiful things. And what I just said about healthy skepticism is basically like the gig. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel if you aren't subscribed. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. Here are the 7 products I'm going to be reviewing. I have the brow mascara. I have the brow soap. I have one of the hot fluff multi-sticks. I have the everyday lip mask. I have the honey fluff liquid lip souffle business, a lip liner, and the Opal stick, which is a highlighting stick. And I have applied some of these products already on camera in a video in which I was applying new makeup, testing new makeup, and talking about it. I'll link that down below. I'm gonna be swatching some of these products in today's video, but I don't have application footage. However, there's a good bit of application footage of most of these in that video. Let's talk about the brow products. Of course, I was going to review the Bush Brow Shaper Soap because I love a soap brow. I reviewed the Patrick Ta Major Brow. That's one that came onto the market last year that, you know, got a lot of excitement around it. And I thought it was good, but when I used it up, I went ahead and just bought myself some glycerin soap from Ortega Cecilia. It's stickier. It's way less expensive per use. It's very beautiful in its little box. I don't have it over here, but you guys have seen it a bunch of times. I really, really love that soap. And so it's tough for something like this. Again, packaged in this big hunk of plastic, a much smaller amount of product per component and more expensive per component than my bar of soap. It would be a really hard sell for this to unseat my bar of soap as my preferred method for, you know, brushing up my brows and laminating them and sticking them to my face. And indeed, this one doesn't perform better than my soap. It performs decently well. I feel like you can, I was worried it was going to be white and flaky because when I started scraping it up, spray a little spray in, start scraping it up, it's like quite white looking, but then it becomes clear when it goes into the brows. So in that way, it performed fine. Like there was nothing about it. There's nothing about it that makes me be like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to put that in my brows again. And it, you know, it does provide a good bit of grip. I feel like it was at its best when I was using it and layering it with other products. So when I put it in, it would provide like a grippy, gooey base for my brows. And then if I brushed the Jason Wu brow mascara over it or another kind of brow gel or something over it, they would sort of combine together and give me a really, really wiry, sticky brow that I could kind of shape any way that I wanted. I feel like that's the way that this works the best. And it's hard to combine a brow soap in most cases with other products. So if that's what you're looking for, if you want something to really set and laminate your brows and you want it to be able to play well with others rather than just one thing like my soap that just sticks the brows down and laminates them over and then that's it, that's what I prefer. But for playing well with others, this one's actually pretty good. My favorite brow days with this were those days when I like played around with it and the brow mascara and I kind of got this wild thing. The hold just isn't quite as strong, especially my brows in the front that tend to kind of spring up and do their own thing unless they're really stuck down. It's hard for me to get enough of this product laminating them down to keep them from springing back up. In fact, today, even though I really tried, they keep springing back up. In the middle and the tail of my brow where I've kind of stuck more product in, the hold is pretty strong, but it's less of like a glued down situation than my soap, and even a little bit less of a glued down situation, I think, than Patrick Ta Major Brow. In a sentence, I'd say this is a great drugstore version of Patrick Ta Major Brow, like a drugstore alternative to that at a much lower price point. I, however, just recommend soap. I'll link below the soap that I use. Okay, let's talk about the brow mascara. This is very weird. I got it in the shade medium because even though I do go for like a cool toned dye color for my brows, the light shade definitely looked too like blonde and light for me. The dark shade looked like it was nearly black, which is good. I'm glad that they have that dark of a shade as an option. The middle shade looked like a pretty ashy brown. Then when I got it and I opened it, the wand, when it came out, it's like light brown. I mean, this to me would be, if it applied this color, like look at it on the wand there. See that kind of like light, almost warm brown? In the past, when I've applied brow mascaras that are this color, this kind of like light, ashy, almost warm brown, it looks weird because they're actually lighter. The color of the goop is actually lighter than the actual brow hairs that I have on my face after I dye them. And my brows are pretty freshly dyed right now, so this is like the color that I like them to be. And one of them is misbehaving. So I thought that it was gonna be like that. When I pulled it out and I saw the color, I was like, oh my gosh, this is way too light. I should have gotten the dark one. And then when I went in with it on my brows, it's almost like the color immediately darkened and became more ashy. I wonder if maybe it's a little bit gel-like in its pigment, like maybe it's a little bit sheer, so that what happened was it sort of sheared out on my brows and provided a little bit of depth, a little bit of darkness, but also is allowing their actual color to shine through. That might be what's going on. In any case, in spite of how light it looks on the wand, this is a color that it's possible for me to use. It probably is like the right color for me of the three. In fact, the thing that's tough about this for me, the thing that's tough for me about any pigmented brow mascara is that it's hard to keep it from getting on my actual skin, and I prefer to just get it on my brows. It's not a super strong hold, but it is a hold. I have used it a number of times and it's been perfectly fine, but it hasn't stood out to me as being like an amazingly strong hold or an amazingly bushy look or something. In and of itself, it's no great shakes and I'm not like obsessed with it. And this in and of itself, the brow bush is no great shakes and I'm not obsessed with it. But there is something about the combination of the two that has sometimes gotten me, again, this like really wiry, bushy, kind of editorial back-combed brow that I've really liked. I didn't do it today because I wanted to show you like the laminated effect of using the bush brow shaper properly, like really using it to press down and sculpt the brows. This is like the look that you can get. And I feel like that's what most people want to know about. But another thing that I've been able to do is like put this in and then layer this over and like sculpt the brow with it. And if you really like that kind of like wild woman brow where it's just like the brow is sort of like tangled and also quite dark and you can kind of see the product in it. It's very like makeup. Again, yeah, like makeup editorial photo shoot close up on an extremely tangled, bushy brow. If you really like that, then you might be able to get that with the combination of these two products. There is something kind of like this cool alchemy about it. That said, if I had purchased these myself as a consumer and then started testing them, the way I would be feeling right now about them is that if I could return them and get my money back, I would. Because even though it's fun to play around with that effect of mixing them together, and it was fun for me to play around with it so that I could give you a really thorough review, and I'm telling you, they're not totally garbage, all is not lost. There were a couple of times when I did my brows in a way, mixing these together, that was kind of delightful. Even though all of that is true, I myself, for my brow needs, for my brow preferences, I don't need to have that. And I wouldn't have needed to spend my money on these in order to have that. Let's talk about Hot Fluff. I feel like it's like the standout product. For me, in a couple of ways, it is kind of standout. And I also do feel like it's the keystone product of the launch. It is a multi-stick. It's supposed to be for lips, cheeks, and eyes. I have it in the shade Biscotti. That's the shade. And you can see the embossing on the bullet. That's pretty nice. I'll give you some comparison swatches in a second. I really like the soft touch monochromatic packaging on this product. I like the fact that the outer packaging matches the color of the product. Absolutely lovely. It said that it was for eyes, cheeks, and lips. And I said this in my other video in which I applied this product, but it's just not for use on the eyes. It's just like putting a sort of silicone-y lipstick on your eyes. For me, it creased immediately. It didn't blend. It patched up. I don't recommend purchasing this product with the expectation that you'll be able to do like a monochromatic lip, cheek, and eye look. Of course, you could find an eyeshadow that matches this and still do a monochromatic look with it because it does work for both the cheeks and the lips. For me, the best application is on the cheeks. I really love this for the cheeks. There is something mysterious about this color that causes me to get that really lovely, intense sort of sunburnt look. I'm not wearing too thick of an application of it today, but I've been wearing it almost every day since I started testing it. Every time I get ready to do a cheek, I'm like, ooh, I want that sunburn look again, and I keep reaching for it. So there is something about the color Biscotti that's great. On my cheeks today, I just have this mixed with Glow Lust from Glow by Auric. I've been wearing that cheek combination every day and really loving the way that it looks in person and really loving the way that it looks on camera. So I feel like my actions with regards to this product, the fact that I keep applying it, keep using it on my cheeks and loving how it looks, my actions actually tell the tale. In terms of what I'm doing with it, it appears that I actually quite like it and I really love the effect, but my feelings about it aren't that passionate and excited. My feelings about it are that the formula is a little bit silicone-y. I wish it was just a touch more, it just had a touch more grit and a little bit less of that sort of slidey feeling that makes it feel like you could sort of scrape it away very easily. I also feel like that silicone-y feeling makes it less ideal for the lips. On my lips today, I have a mix of this and a couple other products that I'll be getting to in a second. It applies fine. It looks fine on the lips. The color is, let me do you some comparison swatches right now. The color is actually just different enough from my handful of go-to products that are in this vein, just different enough from them to make it pretty unique to my collection. That's Biscotti, the Jason Wu Hot Fluff. Here's Maybelline Raw Chocolate, which you can see is a little bit darker and a little bit redder. Hot Fluff is actually more of a brown, like more of an actual brown. And I like that. Even though I really love Raw Chocolate, it's one of my favorites. I like that. I like seeing that. Here's ColourPop Roosevelt. It's the cheek, the blushy sticks, the ColourPop blush stick. As you can see, it is both lighter and more rose colored than Biscotti. I really wish that there were more actual browns in ColourPop's cream blush stick range. And then lastly, here's Glossier Dusk. It's, again, lighter. It's the lightest of them. It's probably the most similar to Biscotti in its neutrality, but it's a little bit lighter in color. So again, we have Jason Wu Biscotti, Maybelline Raw Chocolate. Here we have ColourPop Roosevelt and Glossier Dusk. So again, I love the shade. I can't get enough of the way that it looks on my cheeks in particular. I feel like this is a good drugstore option, like a good accessible drugstore option for this kind of thing. And I'm really glad that the shade range includes a color like this. So that I felt was like the star product of the launch, but this has been for me the standout product of my little review haul. It's the Everyday Lip Mask. And in fact, there are a couple of lip mask type products in Jason Wu's range. There's like a night mask. I think there's like 3, or maybe there's just one that's supposed to be more of a chapstick type thing or lip balm. There is one overnight mask in a jar with like a lid, like a pot. And then there's this one which has a doe foot applicator. I have been wearing this product almost nonstop. It has a very, very light minty scent, really light. I don't love minty stuff, and the scent it's almost like a soft dinner mint, after dinner mint, minty smell, and it disperses right away and you can't really feel it. It doesn't tingle on the lips or anything. It's just a very, very light scent. And the thing about it that's great is that it is beautiful. It's got a little bit of a milky finish, just a little bit, but it's clear. It doesn't, add like makeup look to your face. But because it's a mask instead of just being like a balm of some kind, it's really tenacious. And so it adds that like just moisturized, juicy lip look to your lips, but it stays and stays and stays. And it actually does nourish the lips. It is good for your lips. And my lips have really been loving it. And so you feel like you're not having to choose between something that will be tenacious on the lips, something that will look nice on the lips, and something that will actually be good for your dry lips. It's like the perfect wedding of all three. I feel like I've more and more lately been appreciating that one of the most useful kinds of makeup for the daily for me, especially for no makeup days, is a lip product that's more than just a lip balm or more than just a chapstick. Because I find with lip balms and chapsticks, I'm wanting to like reapply them. I feel like they don't add this like excitement of like, I'm at least giving myself a little something today. They don't add that. They often have this sort of matte pasty quality, and they often really wear off pretty quickly. Like they don't have the stickiness of something that's a little bit more tailored to a makeup lover. But if I go in with like an actual lip gloss on a day when I'm not wearing much makeup, sometimes I feel like I would rather take the opportunity to really nourish my lips with something that's designed to be nourishing. So these hybrid products that are like supposed to be healthy for your lips and also tenacious enough to last and not get worn away really quickly, I've been reaching for them a lot and I've been appreciating them more and more. The other one that I really love using is the Clarins, what's this called? Instant Light Natural Lip Perfector. I really, really love this product. And lately for me, it's been like one of these two products pretty much almost every day. And even on filming days, it's been hard not to grab one and layer it on top of whatever else I'm wearing on my lips. So today I actually did put the Jason Wu lip mask on top of the mix of other Jason Wu products that I have on my lips. You can see it's adding to them a little bit of a glossy effect. If someone was like, I'm going to Target and I'm going to pick up like a handful of products from the makeup section, what do you recommend based on your knowledge of drugstore beauty brands that are sold at Target? And it was just like a friend of mine, you know what I mean? Maybe not a makeup connoisseur or someone who's like obsessed with eyeshadow or something, but just like, if Julia told me she was going to do that, I'd be like, get the Jason Wu Everyday Lip Mask. You'll love it. Here's what it looks like. I also feel like this is well designed and it has a paddle applicator like that. The only thing IMHO that would make this better would be if it was in, if it was in something like this, if it had like the fuzzy, what are they called? I can't remember anymore. The sponge tip applicator, but it's not a sponge. It's like the little velvets sticking up, the little soft fuzzy tip applicators. This is my favorite applicator for this kind of casual lip product. Okay, let's talk about the other lip products. So the lip pencil, the Jason Wu lip pencil, and the honey fluff that I purchased, they match each other. And I'm not sure if every single honey fluff and every single lip pencil match. I'm not sure if it's like this whole thing, but at least in this color, which is Woo Me, I got a matched set. I got a matched set. So I did apply this lip pencil when I filmed that other video, and I applied it with Maybelline Beige Babe because they are exactly the same color. I actually failed to bring Beige Babe over here, but I swatched them next to each other on my hand in that video. So if you really need to see the evidence on camera that they're color dupes, then you can see it in that video. But I'm telling you, Maybelline Beige Babe is exactly this color. So here's the lip pencil, and here's the honey fluff. I'll give you a close up. It's the same kind of paddle applicator as the lip mask. And it's a really lovely, velvety, moussey formula, kind of similar to the M Cosmetics Infinite Lip Cloud, which is high praise for me. The M Cosmetics Infinite Lip Cloud is one of my all-time favorite lip formulas. It's really, really good. It's like K-beauty inspired, whipped velvet formula, elevated to the highest possible level of performance. That's how I feel about the one from M Cosmetics. It's really good. This, it's similar. It's a similar feel, similar kind of thing. I would probably even go so far as to say it's like the available at Target dupe for the Infinite Lip Cloud, if you're looking for something like that. But it's a little bit different in some key ways. I feel like it's a little bit wetter and a little bit slippier, like almost more silicone-y upon application. And that means that it's a little bit more finicky. It's easier to get like those sort of like scraped lines or like a slightly uneven application between the time when you apply it and the time when it kind of sets. And it does set a little bit, not like a long-lasting liquid lipstick that's going to crack and peel, but it does sort of set and adhere and become a little bit more stubborn on the lips, which I appreciate. But because it has like a longer time between when you apply it and when it feels like it's really set onto your lips than the Infinite Lip Cloud from M Cosmetics, which I feel like is almost instantly one with your lips when you apply it. This one, because there's that time where you have to wait for it to set, and because it's so sort of thin and slippy, it's a little bit harder to get a foolproof application. So you just have to fuss with it a little more, struggle with it a little bit more. And for that reason, because this is a color dupe to Beige Babe, and I have Beige Babe from Maybelline, I kind of prefer Beige Babe. So this one wasn't quite a hit in my life personally, but I do think that it is a decent product, a well-designed product. And, you know, the color range is pretty with these products. So it has the potential to be just what someone was looking for. But for me, it's not the droid that I was looking for. And lastly, Opal Stick. I'm not going to say that I feel bad because it's just, you know, it's just makeup. It's just me reviewing a brand that's new at Target. But I feel like I kind of besmirched Opal Stick a lot in that other video based on my personal experience with it, which was that I saw how blue and shiny it was, and I was excited by the blue reflect in the swatch. And then I got inspired to do this like really like blue shiny look all over my face. And then when I went to apply this, it didn't bring that because it's pretty subtle. And so then when I started filming that video, I was like, I'm going to show you how this like underperforms and how my other makeup, which is this really shiny eyeshadow from JD Glow that's in a similar color, how that like outshines it and gives me the vibrancy that I was looking for. All of that is true, right? All of that was my valid experience. But then when I applied this in that video and buffed it out and like gave a full thick application to show it to you, it's actually really pretty. And when I was editing the video back, I was like, you know, it is really, really pretty. It's just that the thing that it inspired me to want isn't the thing that it delivered. And that was like the premise of my besmirching review in that video, where I was like, it's weak sauce. Yeah, it's weak sauce compared to the like See It From Space, like alien gleam highlighter that I was after. But in and of itself, it's pretty nice. Again, a little bit too silicone-y for my personal taste. Like it just feels very, very slippy and slidey. Feels very much like something ColourPop might do. Like I feel like this feels very that. And in the same way as it would be if ColourPop did it, it performs well. It's pretty nice. It's cute. You know what I mean? It's like what you see is what you get, kind of like here. I just don't have like a burning desire for something like this in my collection, to wear it all the time, to like use it down to its little nubbin. And I just try not to buy things that I don't have that burning desire for in that way. Like if I'm gonna buy something and keep it in my space for months and months, if not years, I want to feel these feelings about it where I'm like, I love this so much that I'm gonna use it all the way up until it's gone. And if this makes you feel that way, then I'm glad that I was able to like show you what the swatch looks like and tell you that it's pretty nice. It smells like vanilla. There's nothing offensive about it. It again, what you see is what you get. It performs the way you would think it would perform, a kind of silicone-y, slippy, iridescent, shifting stick. I appreciate that it's sort of like a transparent base. You know what I mean? It looks pretty nice. So it's good for what it is. I don't know why the only highlighter that Jason Wu released is this blue shifting one, this like opal one, because I feel like this formula would probably go over pretty well in other colors, you know, like just you know, a deeper one, like a one that has like a nice, rich, ruddy, rosy tone and shifts brilliantly, and, you know, just a champagne one or something like that. Or maybe one that is totally transparent and universal like this, but doesn't have a blue shift. Like, I just feel like I would have expected them to come out with an array. And I was a little bit mystified by the fact that there was just this one in this one color. And that's probably why I picked it for review, because I was like, oh. So those are all the products. Those are my, you know, kind of like concise, condensed reviews, but based on a couple of weeks of testing them out and using all of them several times. Oh, there's one thing I forgot to say about the lip. I forgot to talk about the lip pencil. Gosh, I skipped it. I got immediately into talking about the hot fluff. I mean, the honey fluff. I like it. I really like the quality of the lip pencil. It's really creamy. It's really lovely. I've enjoyed applying it every time. I actually feel like this is a standout product. I feel like, since we are actually basically recapping, I feel like the lip product, the lip mask and the lip mask are to me the standout products in that they impressed me the most. Like started using everything. These are the two where I was like, wow, really nice, exceeded my expectations, really lovely. And then I've ended up using the hot fluff a lot on my cheeks because I love the color so much. So I feel like I have to count it if I'm talking about my 3 standout products. And all of the rest of them, I could kind of like take them or leave them, but probably leave them. Like that's kind of how I feel. The thing is though about the lip pencil is that it's that plastic. It seems like a wooden pencil, but I went to sharpen it this morning and it's that like fake wood made out of plastic that doesn't sharpen up very well. And my sharpener just kind of like ate it up and didn't give me a nice crisp, sharp line. And it's not satisfying to sharpen. I really don't like lip pencils that are made out of this like plastic wood. So that is too bad, because if this had been real wood, I would be like, run, don't walk to get a Jason Wu lip pencil if you currently need a lip pencil, because the formula inside is really nice, stand out. It's like one of the nicest ones I've ever tried. So these 3 products are treating me particularly well. And the other ones, again, I could take them or leave them or probably leave them, but also they're not garbage. Like none of the 7 things that I tried for this review made me go like, oh gosh, like they really didn't test this. Like this should have been vetted better. Like none of that is going on with this brand. It pretty much delivered basically what it promised to deliver. And there were just some of the formulas that sat better with me than others. I think that the thing that makes it stand apart for me is the packaging. Like I really like the aesthetic of it. And so if I were trying to create like a curated makeup collection, and I wanted to get some less expensive items, like some drugstore price items, or if I really didn't have much of a budget for creating that curated collection. But if to me the aesthetic of the packaging was really important and I didn't want to own anything that I didn't like looking at, like I didn't like looking at the packaging, then I would probably lean on this brand for a couple of key products, because I would rather have something like this sitting around than, for example, a Maybelline lipstick. Like I like it better. I like it better than this ColourPop packaging. I like the aesthetic of the lip pencil. It looks very high-end to me. If I were gonna get 5 different lip pencils in 5 different colors, but I wanted it to be from a drugstore brand and just keep them all in a little lip cup, and that was gonna be my entire lip liner collection, I could see myself going and getting 5 from Jason Wu and having them in there together. It's just really beautiful. Of course, if the products don't perform, if the products are garbagey, then good packaging doesn't take you anywhere. Then good packaging is all for naught. You know what I mean? In this case though, the products perform admirably, they perform decently, and therefore the combination of products that perform pretty well and really, really beautiful packaging in an accessible shop for many people like Target and at a price point that's easier to afford than more high-end things, that combination might make it the ideal brand for some people. Like it might make it the perfect brand for some people. So I was able, in reviewing it, to tell you that the formulas do perform, the packaging does look good in person, and therefore it might be the perfect storm for you if those are your requirements. In me, it's not creating the excitement and the sense of cherishing, the sense of like real, like sort of bonding with my belongings that I think maybe unfortunately for these products and for this brand that I have been feeling about a number of things lately. Like I felt that feeling about the things from Auric. They're just designed to be these precious objects in a way that goes way beyond, you know? And I've been feeling that way about the Club Nebula palette, even the packaging and the shape of it, like everything about it. I mean, even this, which is very hefty feeling, and I've been like keeping it in the palette because it's so lovely. You know what I mean? I have a couple of things that I've been reviewing lately that have come into my sphere that I have very, very warm feelings about. They just feel really exquisite. And some of my old makeup feels that way to me. A lot of my old makeup feels that way to me. I like to feel that way about my stuff. And these products, in spite of the fact that they are so beautiful, that the aesthetic is so on point, aren't creating that feeling within me personally. So I feel like that's why I'm kind of like, well, I could have taken or left just this entire self-sponsored review. I myself could have. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. I feel like I'm being kind of a sourpuss about it, and it might just be because I'm in kind of a sourpuss mood. Here's how I feel. If you've been tempted by this brand because the minimalist aesthetic is so on point, and because I think many of these products are K-beauty inspired, and it is exciting to see that inspiration coming to a brand that's now available easily in the United States, or at Target specifically, if you're a consumer in the United States. If all of that is tempting you and it's making you want to go on the Jason Wu website or go on the Target website and place like $100 order, you know what I mean, to like try one of everything. If you're having that feeling, I don't recommend doing it. I'm not over here being like, actually, these products, these formulas blew me away entirely, and what I think you should do is follow your heart, you know what I mean, and like try one of everything. I don't think that it is groundbreaking enough to be worth, unless you've got lots of money and like $100 here and $100 there just to try out a new brand is nothing to you, right? Like if that's your budget, then get your life. But if you were like trying to decide what to spend your $50 makeup budget on this month, and one of the things you were considering was spending it all on jasonwu.com, it's not making me feel a way about it that makes me think that that's a good idea. The way that I feel about it is if you're physically in a Target and you're looking for like a chapstick type product, I recommend the Jason Wu Everyday Lip Balm instead, because it's like an elevated version of that, and I like this way better than I've liked a lot of chapsticks in my life. That's like where I'm at with this brand, having tried these 7 products. I also kind of feel that way about the lip liner, right? It's like if you really want to try a different color of lip liner that you've never tried and you're at Target and you're trying to grab one and you're trying to decide which brand, grab the one from Jason Wu. Like that's where I feel like this brand is positioned in my personal, like, I don't know, constellation of brands. I hope that that's clear. I'm going to wrap up this review. And I hope that if you came to this video looking for information about this brand, if there was something specific that you wanted to know about one of the formulas, I hope that I was able to satisfy at least some of your curiosity or give you some of the information that you needed. And I also hope that I haven't been being too much of a Debbie Downer. I mean, maybe take it with a grain of salt because I am kind of having one of those days. But I've been trying this makeup for a couple of weeks. And so if something was gonna like really smack me upside the head and be like the next greatest, best thing that I've ever tried, probably that would have already have happened. But I hope that everything was clear. I hope I wasn't being too much of a Debbie Downer. I hope you got all of the information that you needed. I hope that you'll give this video a thumbs up and give me a comment if you have something to say. And I really, really hope more than any of that you're taking extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.